Supply chain management fosters integration of purchasing, manufacturing, and logistics to better serve customers. Firms have set up networks encompassing the globe to enable collaborations to enhance efficiency and speed. In recent times, however, costly disruptions within these networks from causes ranging from natural disasters to political turmoil have made managers realize the importance of risk management. There are essentially three prominent risk areas in the supply chain of most industries. Risks in material supply. Raw materials coming from a single source are most prone to high risk of disruption. Yet for some firms, there is the reality that it is difficult to find alternative sources. A cement export firm, for example, relies on high-grade welding rods meeting the export firm's strict specifications that only one vendor can supply. In cases like this, managers need to understand their firm's and vendors' capabilities, consider such capabilities in setting up facilities, and draft alternative scenarios in case of disruptions. For example, managers may study keeping higher safety stocks of inventories and invest in additional storage space to buffer against possible disruption. Even as firms may have alternative sources for the same material, it may be best for managers to set up systems to trace where materials originally come from, not only to determine possible quality issues, but also anticipate potential situations where supply may be affected. Risks in inbound and outbound logistics. As firms trend toward outsourcing of their logistics, the risk of supply chain disruption increases. This is a logical result of sacrificing direct oversight of logistics activities in favor of lower overhead. Having control of one's logistics may minimize risk greatly. Because logistics involves activities that deal with infrastructure outside the direct control of a company, there will be the risk that merchandise will not be delivered on time because of various reasons, ranging from road closures to port congestions. In January 2015, a visit by Pope Francis to Manila prompted authorities to close major roads for almost a week. Container van traffic to and from the international ports grounded almost to a halt. But because vessels continued to arrive, container vans piled up at the docks and firms ended up paying for demurrage or penalties for the delay in unloading and retrieving. Risks in information technology systems. As firms invest more and more into information technology and become more dependent on it, the risks that are associated with it become greater. Especially for firms that manage multiple manufacturing and logistics sites, IT systems can be vulnerable to disruption due to imperfect telecommunications reliability, among other things. IT risks have especially grown in past years with security breach incidents from hacking, identification theft, and website attacks. Interestingly, IT disruptions have also become more frequent due to decisions by firms in hiring IT professionals. Some firms, for example, favor outsourcing IT activities instead of hiring and paying higher than average payroll expenses for qualified engineers. The trade-off of doing so is that IT systems become more prone to longer disruptions, even from mundane causes. For example, IT systems at some Manila call centers would often break down because the IT person failed to report the air conditioning in a system server room was not functioning. The resulting heat caused the hardware to fail. Replacement of parts entailed not only a lengthy disruption period, but also were delivered at an astronomically high price tag. In contrast, when the 2016 Kumamoto earthquakes in Japan hit several factories, many of the firms had already prepared for the eventuality, thanks to their experiences from previous natural disasters. Alternative disaster scenarios were activated, such as immediate rescheduling of production to other sites. Redundant IT infrastructure allowed for uninterrupted communications. Even as supply of some products, such as automotive items, were still disrupted, the length of said disruption lasted only a few days, instead of the few months of previous disasters. Firms later reported the earthquake hardly affected their financial forecasts. The supply chain is the lifeblood of most industries. Keeping that lifeblood flowing has become a major challenge, on top of the continuing effort to integrate functions within operations. Because supply chain networks have become more prone to risk as firms seek faster and cheaper ways to move merchandise, managers need to anticipate and plan versus possible dangers of disruptions. The three prominent areas of risk, material supply, logistics, and information technology, are the recommended starting points in managing against costly business interruptions. Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and visit us at www.prosultsconsulting.com for more information.